Can you clap for me?
Not 1080.
Perfect. And you guys are good. Actually,
Were we supposed to clap in unison there? Was that like a test? Oh, that was for you. That was not a team building exercise. All right.
So we probably should have clapped together.
I think that we
should.
Yeah, we should probably on 3.
1, 2, 3.
I feel like that was really good. I feel like that was really, really good shit right there. That's how we are starting every podcast now.
I'm Derek Schultz, and this is Against the Grain.
We have Shire from Fab Lab.
Yes.
And your bio was like the best thing I've ever read, because the way that I learn is like really immersive, like feet on the pavement sort of learning. And your biography, like it starts like I'm sitting at an airport, and like it paints the scene for you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start there.
Okay.
Because like that says a lot about you, how you write.
Okay.
You know what I mean? What do you feel like, because you're clearly a visionary, you're doing all of these things, you've got Fab Lab, I want to hear about everything you're doing, but what about your mind do you think makes it to where you're doing all this really unique stuff?
I don't know. I don't think that I am doing that.
Really?
Many unique things.
Really?
I'm making a salon.
Look at the humility here.
Well, no, I mean, like, there's 1,000, you drive down the street, there's 1,000 salons. I don't think that what I'm doing is different. I think what I'm doing is just trying to, like, change the industry from... So, today, before this, I was at a masterminds, like, meeting with a bunch of different professionals in different industries all over Denver. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting at this round table looking at everyone going, why am I here right now? But I know that I deserve to be at that table, but also I'm like, I've made a salon that I'm trying to use to like change the perception of hairstylists, I guess, from not being professionals who can sit at a round table with other professionals.
Yeah. I think that is every good company is finding a value proposition in something that exists.
Yeah.
It's not like reinventing the wheel and coming out with this whole new thing.
Right.
It's taking a new angle on an industry that needs help.
Yeah.
And I empathize with that because I feel like real estate is one of those industries as well. Like it's one of those industries that needs help, like hardly better than a used car salesman sort of mentality towards realtors.
Okay.
I feel is out there.
Okay.
So I know what the issues with my industry are. What do you feel is the gap in your industry that you're solving?
Well, I think most professionals go to college, and in college you're taught how to speak and basically how to be a robot.
Did you go to college?
I did go to college.
Okay.
I didn't graduate college.
I didn't either.
But
we have this in common. I went there, didn't graduate.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm
cool.
like, I think I'm 4 credits short or something.
I'm like 12. So you're a little closer than me. Congratulations.
My toxic trait is that I've convinced my mom that I did graduate.
Yeah, okay. Did you make a diploma?
Well, I have a diploma. It's just not a bachelor's.
What is it?
It's an associate.
Yeah, well, that's a diploma. That's a graduation, right? Was there a ceremony?
Yeah, but I didn't go to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I don't think I went to high school graduation. I don't think they wanted me there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like that.
Were you like a naughty boy?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, they caught me smoking the reefer.
Oh.
In the Midwest. Uh-oh.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal.
Before it was legal.
Yeah,
right?
No, they thought I was the spawn of Satan, for sure.
Yeah. You were a druggie.
Yeah, no, and then I moved into the city and opened up a weed restaurant. And then it all connected for them. They're like, we knew it.
You opened a weed restaurant?
Yeah, that was one of the businesses that I did. It was called Fried. Fried food
great.
for fried people.
Oh my God, I love that.
It was a lot of fun. Are you from here?
No.
Where are you from?
Florida.
Okay. Nice. What part of Florida?
Winter Park.
I'm going to pretend to know where that's at.
Okay,
Yeah.
So it's right outside of Orlando. I like to say that it's the Beverly Hills of Orlando. It looks like Savannah, Georgia. Beautiful brick roads, huge oak trees with Spanish moss hanging down. So gorgeous. Every home is like huge and $15 million. It's like they picked up homes from Beverly Hills and dropped them into Savannah, Georgia, and that's Winter Park, Florida.
How do you feel about Denver? Why'd you come here?
So I grew up in Florida, went to college, didn't graduate.
Nice.
Because I was in school for interior design, and I used to do promotional spokesmodeling. So I was picked out of a lineup to go do Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week by some guy named Russell. He had me do the Orlando Surf Expo with him, and then he hired me to do Fashion Week with him. And on the drive down to Miami, he was like, I'm actually going to have you be a sales rep and like rep this new designer out of New York that I just picked up. So I did, and I got them into Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition, and I got them into like 8 stores at Fashion Week that year. So they hired me on the spot, and they let me work remote until that semester ended, and then they were like, it's now or never. You can move to New York and work with us, or we're going to hire somebody else. So I quit school and moved to New York.
I would have too.
And then they closed because it was right during like 2008, and our swimsuits were like $500 a piece, and it was insane. So anyway, they closed, and I moved out here 10 years ago next month.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So what do you feel like you brought from that New York experience? Because this sounds really unique. Like I want to dive into that, because I similarly quit college.
Okay.
I think that your excuse is similar to mine in that you found and saw promise in something else more so than you saw in university.
Right.
What was it in that like going to New York and having that experiential learning that you found more attractive?
Well, it was 2008. The market was crashing, and I had a job.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Be in Florida and like pick out couches for people? Like,
were you disgruntled with college before, or was it just like, this is an amazing opportunity, I'm going to do it? Or was it like I don't know about this.
No, it was an amazing opportunity, and I knew. And I'm so glad that I did it. I actually had a really horrible experience in New York.
Really?
But yeah, it was horrible. I love New York.
Right.
And I go back every year. I love it.
Yeah.
And I have friends there now, but I've never been so lonely in my whole entire life as I was when I lived there. And I think it's because there were all these people on vacation with their friends, living their lives all around me. And I was pretty much alone the whole time.
Yep.
And I'd walk to and from work, and I'd see all of these people doing their thing, and I was always like, I never like had my people,
Yeah, it's definitely not like where you're at, it's who you're with.
Yeah.
What do you, because like I feel like some of the darkest moments of my life have taught me the most, and I've brought them into entrepreneurship, and in that way it's like there are no failures, there are always wins.
Totally.
Do you feel like you have that now with New York? Like you feel like you brought stuff out of it that's positive?
Absolutely. First of all, I lived in fucking New York City.
Yeah.
Right out of college. I'd never even been there, and I moved there. That's like pretty cool.
Did you have a place lined up when you moved there, or you're just like,
I moved
going?
into a hotel.
Love that.
And then
Love that.
I took a month to find a place to live.
Yeah.
I think I never really valued connection as much as I do now after leaving there. I really recognize that I'm somebody who needs connection with people. So that's one thing. But I left there feeling really, really insecure about myself. And I feel like gaining that security back and becoming really confident has just projected me into whatever my future is going to be.
So you left New York. And then do you immediately venture into this realm of entrepreneurship?
No.
Yeah?
No, this is new. We're a baby. We opened March of last year, coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
So I moved to Colorado Springs. And it was between culinary school or cosmetology school.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I don't want to be stuck in a kitchen until 3 o'clock in the morning, not probably being respected, and I just didn't really know what kind of quality of life that would have given me. Not to say that people in the restaurant industry don't have a good quality of life, but it wasn't the quality of life that I wanted. So I went on to Yelp and I looked at the top 10 best salons in Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
And I called every single one of them and asked them what school they hired their assistants out of. And that's how I chose the school that I went to. And I toured it and signed up the same day.
That's so smart. So you like started with the money first,
Started with money.
and then you're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow. Yeah.
And I knew that I didn't want to be like at a cost cutters. I knew that I wanted to be at the best salon. So,
Yeah.
and at that time, Yelp was how we found those things
Yeah.
because Instagram was barely a thing. So,
Yeah.
found my school kind of in a roundabout way through Yelp, and then I never looked back.
Yeah. What's the journey like? Did you start by working with someone, and then eventually, like, how? Explain to me that whole journey.
The way
and how you get to the scary, I'm going to do this, I'm going to become an entrepreneur.
Oh God, yeah. So
Yeah.
the way that the industry works in Colorado, it's different from state to state, but you can't touch a person for money without a license. So started in school, that was about a year and a half long, graduated and had 3 job offers from 3 different salons to be an assistant. At that time, I was making $4.50 an hour. I know, crazy. So I also, it's so rough. And the lady that I assisted was, can I say on here?
I mean, she felt comfortable charging $4.50 an hour.
So anyway, $4.50 an hour, and then she would tip me $20 a day.
Ooh, big money.
Yeah.
Big money. So that raised it to like $5 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
The salon got bought out, and the new owners came in and asked me why they couldn't keep any assistants, and they were like gazillionaires. So I said, "Do you know what you pay me?" He didn't. He had no idea what I was getting paid. So I told him $4.50 an hour, and his jaw like hit the floor. I quit, and they begged me to stay.
How long did it take?
9 months.
Okay. Wow. That's a lot of time.
Yeah. So I had another job too.
Because like our donut equation, that 300 donuts to a down payment is a way better.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Has owning a business helped you develop in the sense that there is that like anchor? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like I'm still developing. So here's what's interesting. Before I decided to open Fab Lab, before I moved to Denver even, I feel like I was very like clear and strong in like who I was and what I was doing. And I had my like dreams and I had my things that I wanted to do, which was education. None of them was opening a salon. And then I moved to Denver, and then everything kind of changed very quickly for me, and I resisted it for a while. And now I find myself in this place, and I don't know that I feel super solid in this place. But my friends are calling me vintage Shire because they're like, "You're back."
Yeah.
We're like, we see it. We see like the stars in your eyes. And I'm like, I'm glad somebody does. Because most days I wake up and I'm like, who the fuck gave me permission to do this?
How much is your business you?
Well, 100%. The interesting thing is I never wanted to own a salon.
Yeah.
I've never wanted this life.
What made you want what? Because at a certain point you had to want it. Otherwise, you don't transition into it.
Well, I think I just got to the point that I realized there's nowhere for me. The only thing for me is if I create the thing that I need.
So you worked for this person, that person, this person, that person. None of them worked out, and you're like, well, shit.
Yeah.
I better create it because it doesn't
not
exist.
In like a shitty way. Just in like I worked for one company for 7 years. I worked for all of the companies that I worked for. I at least put in 2 years with them until the last one. And the last one I was 9 months in. They brought me on as they took on an extension line, and they brought me in as an educator for their extension line. They had me film a tutorial for them that took an entire day. They did not pay me for it, but I was like, whatever, take one for the team, ownership mindset, whatever. And then they told me that they weren't going to pay me until I took the class that I taught on video, and also I had to pay them $500 to watch
take your own class.
Watch myself teach something.
So like, hey, come in, film this class for us.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't graduated that class yet?
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Well, you got to pay us $500 to take your class that you haven't graduated.
Right. And 17 days later, I opened Fab Lab.
Are you grateful for that like straw that broke the camel's back moment?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you will be,
Yeah.
like, as you get to that.
Yeah, no, I am. I think it pushed me sooner than I wanted
Yeah.
because I was brewing the things that are brewing now.
Mm-hmm.
So ideally, I would have liked to stay there as long as I could.
Yeah. There's that fine balance,
Yeah.
though, because, like, you're never going to be ready. Like, ever.
No.
Ever.
But-
So, like, sometimes you need that push to be like, let's life being
Right.
like, you're never going to be fucking 100% ready. Stop waiting for that. Do it.
Right.
You know?
Working at that salon, I'm grateful for a couple things. I never wanted to own a salon. So working at that salon, I saw that people who were horrible leaders, horrible managers, really terrible in that role at that position, running a generally successful salon.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, fuck, if they can do it, I can do it. And then that's when the ball kind of started rolling for me. So I created my LLC and started my branding in January of 2021. In March of 2021, that's when they had the meeting where I had to pay $500 to take the class that I taught.
Wow.
So I was
So you're,
already
like, forming
2
it.
months in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a slow brew. I was so scared to make my LLC that my best friend Emily made it for me.
You manifested that, I'm telling you. When you clicked submit on that LLC,
Oh, I know.
like, you were destined.
I was on the
to
phone
do
with her
that.
and I was like, I just like, it's just so official. I don't know. And I'm like in my head about it. And she's like, yeah, I just fucking did it for you. So here's your EIN. And I was like, what? And she's like, you're doing it. And
So
I
if
was like,
anyone
okay.
out there has doubts about starting their company, find an Emily.
Find a best
Get them
friend.
to incorporate
Yeah,
for
yeah,
you,
yeah.
and then send
Yeah.
you the incorporation and
Yeah.
be like, you're doing it, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got in. You're 1 year in right now.
1 year in.
You have 3?
I have I have 2 assistants and
Okay.
myself.
Okay.
Moving into the new space,
Where's the new space?
35th and Rhino.
Oh.
In 35th and Blake in Rhino.
Yeah, that's going to be so cool.
Yeah. We
What-
just had our cement floors poured the other day.
Nice.
I almost cried.
Are you going through that whole like construction process with the contractor? Are you like super excited that it's going to be totally your brand and your vision in there?
Yeah. So I did not want to take over an existing salon because I think when you do that, you also take over like existing reputations of the former salon that was
Totally.
there.
Like, it's like buying into a franchise.
Right.
Which is cool. Like some people do that. That works for them. For
If
me,
it's-
it's like I want to be a brand.
Right.
I love that creative aspect.
Well, even then, I feel like even if it's a salon that's shut down and you're taking over that space, I feel like reputation-wise, you also take over
You're
the
inheriting.
reputation of the salon that shut down in that space. So I'm excited to be creating something from scratch that is like mine and my vision and has really good energy and is light and exciting and in a really up and coming great area of town. Those are the things that I'm super excited for. I did not realize how grueling this process would be.
Yeah.
I got the space in August of last year. I did not have a lease that I was able to sign until December of last year.
Wow.
With my attorney going back and forth with their attorney. The original lease that they sent me didn't have complete sentences. I don't know where they pulled this lease from.
Yeah.
So my attorney looked it over and was like, you absolutely cannot sign this. So they went back and
Yeah.
forth for 4 months or however long that is. December 15th, I signed the lease for this salon. Permits were supposed to be pulled by February 1st.
Yeah.
My contractor reached out to me end of February and said, we're 4 weeks behind on permits. They're not getting back to me. So I had to do my Shire thing
Yeah.
and email Chad from permitting in Denver every single day. Hey Chad, just checking in. Is there
Chad.
anything you need from me? Hey Chad.
Yeah.
Are you hungry? Can I bring some donuts to the
Yeah,
office?
seriously. Oh my
what
gosh,
do
that
I
would've
need to
gotten
do?
me.
They finally sent through the permitting request or whatever. He kept saying like, oh yeah, we're like 4 weeks behind, but squeaky wheel gets the oil. I
Isn't it
emailed him
amazing how
every
they're
single day.
always 4 weeks behind and
It's
it never
so
becomes
dumb.
3 or 2 or 1?
It's just so. Also,
Yeah.
like, how many permits do you have a day? And also, as a city, if my business is open, you make more money. So let me be open. Like,
It's amazing to me.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Also, what's crazy is that the permitting department doesn't really look at anything.
No.
They don't look at blueprints. They don't look at anything. So, with my degree in interior design, I drew up the initial blueprints for the space, but they weren't like correct.
Like
Right,
architectural
right.
renderings, yeah.
So I had to hire an architect.
They made you hire an architect and make renderings.
Yes, $15,000
Yeah.
later.
Not
Cash.
cheap at all.
Can't put it on credit. Nothing. No
Nope.
financing. Nothing. Right.
Nope.
So yeah, I had to hire an architect. $15,000. They create these drawings for me. We send them to permitting. Permitting is 85,000 weeks behind. We don't know.
Yeah.
Chad finally pushes it through. Okay, great. Now we've gotten started on construction. Underground plumbing is done. Electric is done. The inspector comes out to review the plumbing, disapproves,
Yep.
and I'm like,
I'm such
how?
pain in the butts about that.
But also,
There's-
like, how does the permitting office not already know what the inspectors need to say, like, we're not going to grant you this permit until you change this thing on the blueprint? Like, don't you think that would streamline the process?
No, well, streamlining is not what they're interested in.
It's not what they're interested
No.
in. So we are finally at the point that we have plumbing, we have electric, we have concrete floors, which is a very big step.
Nice.
Because it was gravel floors before.
Yep.
Walls are being framed this week, and once the walls are framed, we're
That's
rolling.
like, yeah.
We're rolling.
What's your target open date?
June 18th.
One more question for you.
All right.
One more speed question.
Real question. Speed question.
What
I
do we
think
got?
we've only asked 3, but I've
We've
asked
gotten 4.
3.
I think we've gotten 4 out there.
We're, yeah.
My biggest thing is a lot of people really struggle to make that leap from working for someone to making a company. In one sentence, what would you tell that person that's scared right now to take the leap to do the thing that's going to ultimately lead them to be their most authentic self?
I think I would tell them, if you really feel like you're ready and you can do it, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Or get a best friend named Emily to do it
That's what
for
I'm
you
saying.
so that you don't have any other option.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
everyone out there, find your fucking
Yeah.
Emily
Yeah.
and make sure she's honest, because
Yeah.
there's also, like, there have been times where I've jumped into companies I wasn't ready.
Right. Well, that's
I've
that's why
learned-
I said
I learned
if
a lot
you're
from that, though.
really ready.
So Shire, we got you here from Fab Lab.
Yeah.
We're so fucking excited that you were here. Do you feel like you're cursing more now?
Yes.
Fuck yeah, is what I think that is that what you just said right
Well,
there?
I feel like I'm a cursor.
You are a cursor.
I am.
Hell yeah, you're a cursor.
Hell
That's what
yeah,
I'm fucking
fuck yeah.
talking about.
If you want to follow us on those social medias or whatever the kids are calling it these days, check out @Symbiote Denver and @urban.entrepreneur on Instagram, Facebook, and wherever the fuck else people post shit.